Get up here, Carly!
All I know is that it's in Australia. It must be. I mean, I don't normally spend a lot of time watching these films since I think they're blatantly false. Even though I don't particularly enjoy saying that, I don't know, maybe it's some other kind of creature. I feel like this is meant to be a Bigfoot, but it doesn't look like one to me. Nevertheless, I will say this. I wouldn't be standing there, filming it, regardless of what kind of creature it is. What are you doing out in the woods, even if it was a strange person wearing a ghillie suit? I would just say, okay, man, I'll check you later, if I happen to come into that. The fact that the man behind the camera most likely knows the man in the suit is another aspect that, in my opinion, makes it seem unreal. Yes, you understand. In a rural area of the United States, a guy and his kids are filming in their backyard.
Hey, Dad, look at Carly!
Get up here, Carly! What the hell was that? The hell was that?
A long-armed, eerie, repulsive thing is seen reaching for his daughter as the father moves the camera around. No one is present when the father rushes over. I'm not sure if this is a costume, but if you slow down the video, you'll notice how eerie it is. What do you suppose is happening here? Just a little hoaxy fun in the backyard? Or is this a monster I've never heard of? A Canadian hunter claims to have captured Sasquatch on tape in this Sasquatch film. Indeed, I can see the monster skulking through the forest, and I can tell right away that it is walking like a person. That is not how Bigfoots move. They don't move in those delicate, cautious steps. Initially, there was skepticism in the comments. He must have received a lovely new pair of rubber boots for Christmas, one guy said. He would have been sussed by someone else stating, "Oh, Bigfoot." This person would never have captured him on camera. And I concur, this is probably just a lot of nothing, but I'm not sure. This video shows 4 French hikers traversing a suspension bridge at the Lake Waka Rim at Hawke's Bay. They notice a sign stating that the bridge can accommodate up to 10 passengers before they board it. They're thinking, hey, all right, since there are just 4 of them. One of the hikers claimed to have heard a crack around halfway through, which turned out to be the shattering of one of the bridge wires. Shortly after, the bridge completely crumbled, throwing 3 of the 4 hikers into the river 30 feet below. Fortunately and miraculously, none of the hikers were hurt. Fortunately, the water was deep enough where they landed, and they didn't just crash onto the riverbed, which is another thing I was concerned about. It's quite a tale to tell, man. Although the bridge is currently closed and won't be usable until extensive testing is completed, officials are working to reconstruct it. Yes, that is a wise decision. I'm enjoying the atmosphere in this video, but I'm not sure where it was shot. We have motorbikes, mopeds, dirt bikes, and horses that are simply aimlessly roving. This facility appears to be quite laid back. This horse is going to get a little tangled. As I already stated, the horse was good, but take a look at the force of this beast and how he drags it. One of the spokes, the tires, or whatever, must have hooked its hooves. Consider attempting to explain to your insurance provider how your motorbike got under this vehicle. However, consider the man's feelings when he left without finding his small motorcycle and then discovered it hidden beneath this automobile. Next, on the other side, what about the individual who simply has a motorcycle stuck beneath their door? I'll conclude by telling you what I do hope to see. I'm interested in the man's face when he leaves and eventually locates his motorcycle. The video would be good. What the frick is this thing in relation to dolphins? Take a look at this. I can't even image witnessing something like this when strolling through a park, you know. Indeed, it appears to be a dolphin, a young dolphin ascending this concrete stairway. There are others who claim that this is a newborn sea lion disguised as a dolphin. All right, one guy gave the clearest answer I could find, stating that this is unquestionably a long-fin eel that is indigenous to New Zealand's freshwaters, particularly the Black River. I'll have to believe what he says. This video, which was purportedly shot in Russia, shows an enigmatic light coming out of the sky. Like a giant energy ball, the object vanishes in an instant, followed by a number of smaller ones. Online conjecture is rife, as you might expect. Some think it's a malfunctioning cloaking device on an alien spacecraft. It's a well-executed scam, according to the skeptics in the comments. In any case, it's quite remarkable. However, what are your thoughts? Is it authentic, or are we perhaps witnessing yet another digital ploy? What cryptid is this was the title of this viral video when it was uploaded. It's not a cryptid, in my opinion. It's really amazing, I must say. I suppose it might be, but some readers claim that this is just a gray wolf sprinting next to a car, and this one reached speeds of up to 37 miles per hour. According to a different comment, this hybrid wolf dog ran away from its owner. It took place in El Cerrito in the Greater Bay Area. Continues by saying that most people are unaware of how large wolves are. They often consider them to be big dogs, or more akin to coyotes. But all of that is incorrect. Wolves are enormous. Yes, and this is how it appears to be. A large, elderly, powerful wolf sprinting along the street. This is quite crazy. Await the pan out of the camera. Expert climbers, ibex are well suited to navigating the most difficult mountainous terrain. Their muscular, nimble bodies, concave hooves that offer superior traction on rocky terrain, and unique traits all contribute to their exceptional climbing abilities. On tight ledges, these hooves can actually extend out to improve stability. They are distinguished by their keen vision and keen spatial awareness, which enable them to navigate these difficult situations with assurance and safety. The video in the following clip is taken from a horror film, A Nightmare Come True. A huge black bear was spotted entering the house when a teenager was dozing off on the couch, according to the security camera footage. The boy was startled awake by the sound of the door opening, and when he witnessed the beast entering, he was at a loss for words. You can see that when the bear got closer to him, the seriousness of the situation hit him. He became aware that his life was in serious jeopardy at that very moment, but he suddenly appeared, plucked up the guts to lunge at the bear, and tried to frighten him away. Amazingly, the bear appeared alarmed by the boy's efforts and eventually withdrew from the house. The child was completely scared, but as he closed the door and knew he had escaped becoming the bear's food, a wave of relief passed over him. The boy's attempts to frighten the bear away were ridiculed in the first clip of this that I saw. To be honest, I believe he performed admirably. I mean, I can't fathom waking up to this, especially since he was revived from a deep slumber. Have any of you noticed how effortlessly the bear threw that door open? Absolute strength. Dustin, a Reddit user, had an odd incident while using the restroom at home. Something that his home camera caught. Dustin heard a quiet feminine voice calling his name as he was in the restroom.
Hello?
The voice was so clear that he thought someone was standing immediately outside the door, even though he was home alone. Dustin's 2 dogs were agitated in the living room, as though they were detecting something invisible, which added to the eerie atmosphere. The focus here is on this unsettling encounter, even though Dustin is best known for his bong collection. Was Dustin indeed able to capture this moment on camera? The voice in the video seems to be fairly simple to hear. I'll let you do it now. What are your thoughts? Now, this clip is probably familiar to many of you. It simply depicts a moose munching on grass on the side of the road and was taken in 2018 by a man in Canada. You can see what looks to be a skinwalker in the woods on the left side of the video. On the moose's left side, there is undoubtedly some movement. However, that's not our main concern here. Even if it looks like this thing is pursuing this moose, our attention is currently on fresh details regarding the skinwalker in the tree. It looks like it could jump right up on the moose. Thus, one is in the tree and the other is stalking it from behind. Once more, there has been no follow-up and very little information concerning this video. If you see both of the skinwalkers I'm referring to, please let me know. This next Honduran video is shocking. A mechanic shop's CCTV footage, a car crash that occurs directly in front of their store. Because to the perspective of the footage, you may see the van overturn if you look closely at the left side of the screen. Do you see the person who stutters out of the van now? After falling, he ultimately climbs back up. That man, however, was among those inside the car. They get up and leave as if nothing had occurred. Nevertheless, as the figure keeps moving forward, he progressively disappears from the video. The unsettling aspect is that the original uploader clarified that no one made it out of this incident alive. Everyone was trapped inside the car and was accounted for. Thus, the question arises, who is this individual? The OP is now adamant that this could be one of the victims' spirits departing their body. Do we believe this to be credible proof of that? A spooky image captured by a trail camera in New York State depicts what looks to be a ghostly presence pursuing two hunters. The terrifying photo was taken in December 2021 and was shared with Coast to Coast AM by Jesse Grandel. On their farm in the Savona neighborhood, her husband Bob and their daughter went hunting. He was looking over his trail camera photos from the previous few years last week when he noticed the disturbing image and saw the eerie, translucent apparition following them. I don't recall them ever taking anyone hunting, so I asked him who was with him after he forced me to look at it, Jesse says. Recalling, Jesse responded, "No one." It kind of frightened out the father and daughter. According to Jesse, after her husband posted the picture on social media, a friend's father identified the person as Paul, who lived in our home and hunted in the same woods. He left our home in late 2003 or early 2004 and passed away a few years later. According to Jesse, we were unaware of the man's appearance because we never met him. Skeptics will undoubtedly argue that this spirit is just a trick of light and shadow, or the result of computer editing. But Jesse maintains that the image was taken by the trail camera and is one of hundreds of other, unaltered images. Whoa, that's insane. In light of that, what are your thoughts about the figure in the picture? Could the ghost of the man who used to hunt in the same location have followed Bob and his daughter, who occupied their home before? One of the security cameras at the business where the original uploader's father works caught this odd footage from Mexico. The building from which this originated is now quite safe. The entire site is covered in cameras that scan different areas, searching for any specific disruptions. This is a government building, the uploader added. They do some weird things there, but it's not some secret ops, dark site, she remarked. The scanning camera zooms in on a strange figure as it does its function. The weird part is that the thing fled as soon as it became aware that it was being watched, and at an abnormally high speed, I should add. What have I been missing then? What might this be? What is this enigmatic creature? A few years ago, a user who had received the unsettling photo from a friend shared it on Reddit, where it started to circulate. The picture immediately attracted a lot of attention, generating conjecture around potential paranormal activity. According to reports, the image was captured inside an apartment building in Charleston, South Carolina, a historic city. The picture looked rather normal at first sight. Seated comfortably in a chair in her living room, the woman who took it had pointed her camera at her dog. But when you looked more closely, you noticed something strange. Her second dog appeared to be warily approaching a faint, shadowy woman's shape in the backdrop. The dog's body language conveyed a sense of discomfort, as if it was attempting to ascertain whether this presence was an enemy or a friend, and the spooky figure was hunkered over. The woman claimed to have been by herself in her apartment at the time, which further added to the image's unsettling quality. But the enigmatic figure in the picture? No rational explanation could be found. Theories started to circulate. Some speculated that the figure might be the spirit of a deceased person who passed away in the apartment building. A series of disturbing events had been reported by the homeowner herself. Even though she was aware that she was the only person home, late at night she would hear footsteps reverberating down the hallways. Additionally, even though she hadn't touched anything, she frequently discovered items moved or rearranged in the morning. She started to feel like she was always being watched, and her dogs were clearly uncomfortable, especially in the living area. The exact location where the enigmatic figure was captured in the picture. The poster's wife had one of the scariest situations. The sight of an old woman in a nightgown standing next to the bed woke her up, since she had spent the night in the same apartment. She attempted to focus on the person, but it quickly disappeared. But there was still the distinct sound of footsteps backing away outside the door. She was left terrified and immobilized. This video is excellent. A spider is creeping around and we observe a horned viper lying here and there. That's just his tail. Oh no. What? This unusual hunting weapon was created by the spider-tail horned viper. It attracts hungry birds with its spider-like appearance and movements. What's going on, really? In what method did the snake come to the conclusion that spiders were an effective means of attracting prey? Then, how on earth did they create a realistic-looking spider's tail? It really does resemble a spider.